Welcome to the Work Hates podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Brady Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story, whether it is a dreadful boss, a horrible workplace, or an insufferable colleague. And if you've had none of those things, chances are you're the problem.
You are the problem. Today we are joined by comedian, actor, and Robert Irwin impersonator, Blake Pavey.
What's up?
Robert Irwin impersonator.
Hey, you did
Have
well.
you done one sketch as Robert Irwin?
No,
there
he's
were
in
a few.
heaps.
There was a few in there, yeah.
Fuck
A lot
yeah.
of it on stage now as well.
Oh, do people love it?
No.
No. The end. Tell you who fucking hates it. Robert.
Oh, yeah.
Does he hate it?
I'm not sure. No, I reckon every time I did one of those videos, there were like, most comments were just like, his dad is dead, why are you saying this? And then all of
my
the other
God.
comments were just tagging him. So he's definitely seen it.
Yeah.
But I had no correspondence back.
Oh, he's
So-
like, his dad is dead. Anyway, we'll just tag him in it just so he knows.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I was wondering where he was.
P.S. Your dad is dead. So I reckon he would like it. He looks like a nice guy.
He looks like a lovely guy.
I think I might met him. I don't know. He seems really nice. I think everyone was ready to not like him, and no one saw that coming. Everyone saw the family. Everyone's like the mum, the dad, huge personalities. Then the daughter, who was just like creepily good at media from an early age.
Yeah.
And then there was the dumb baby Robert, and everyone was like, for starters, you can't call a baby Robert.
Yeah.
Okay, that is like number one rule. I think it's in the law, but they did it. So no one had any hope for him. Everyone was like, whatever, there's too many successes
Robert's
already.
belong at the pub doing coward punches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Robert, he's come through and he's going to be bigger than all of them.
And he's hot now.
Dude,
Yeah.
Is he jacked?
He's
Yeah.
he's jacked. He's
Oh,
like,
fuck
dude,
you.
he gives me a Throbert Irwin. Like, he's so sexy. He's hot. Like,
Yeah.
he's general. I think, yeah, I'm like jealous of like how much.
I was actually like, God, this guy, he's a bit of a dork. Fuck him or whatever. And I looked at his Instagram, and he's just absolutely sending a mountain bike harder than I can. I was like,
Yeah.
I actually like the guy now. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. He was jumping his fucking Land Cruiser. I was like, fuck,
Sick.
that's pretty cool.
What I love about Robert is I went and saw the Australia Zoo. He was doing like a live, this was a few years ago now, he was doing a live show with his mum. And his mum was like, you know, just having a few mum jokes in there. And he was like genuine, like no, it was nothing fake about it. He was like genuinely, lovingly laughed at her jokes and was like,
Yeah.
oh, mum. And I was like, fuck, that's really hot. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was into it.
What, the mum jokes were hot or just...
Not Terry. She was fine. No, Robert, like how much he respected his mother.
Is that fucking how you get...
Respect your
I
mother. You
wouldn't
are
say
going
middle-aged
to...
women, but I was like, I'm sorry. But
that's
women,
all
just
right.
do- if you respect your mum, is that fucking what gets you
Yes,
across the line?
it's a,
Bah.
there's obviously a line. You can't be like in love with her, Brett.
Okay.
But your show this year, Brett's show this year, it's like there's a part of it where he's like, you know, it's a tribute to how lovely his mum was and how patient she was with you when you were a turd.
You heard it here first. I'm just doing it to get roots.
Yep.
And now we
Don't
know
even care.
women are.
Let's
This is
go.
going to be huge for you.
Yeah.
Fine.
no.
You might not die alone after this show.
Fuck, no. Oh, man, trust me, I'll be dying alone. I've stopped drinking now, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping drinking forever.
Let's
you know,
go.
the ghost will get me eventually.
So I met you, Blake, when we did Raw together in some time a few years ago, and I remember because I hadn't been on TikTok, but I remember the whispers around the green room. And I was like, "Oh my God, it's the TikTok guy! It's the TikTok guy!" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what this. What is the TikTok?" And then Alexandra Hudson walked over to you. She was a person on the lineup. She came up to you and she said to you, "Thank you for everything you've done. You got me through COVID," and it made it sound like you were a hero.
Yeah, I'm Australia's Fauci. I've done so much for this country, and only one person has recognised it, and that's why I have so much love for her. Yeah, I don't know. That's where I get a lot of middle-aged, like a lot of mums come up to me on the street and they're
Oh,
just
do they?
like, yeah, because it's weird because it wasn't that, I don't think those videos are that funny. I kind of just put a wig on and like pretended to personify a country.
Yeah.
And people were like, this guy's a fucking genius. Like,
This guy fucking gets it. Jesus Christ. Man, I fucking love your video. I love, what was the one where you like the kids who were like in the classroom and like it's is it the minute of silence?
oh, yeah.
I love that one because that's me and my mates like,
yeah.
and there's the teacher's like, shut the fuck haircut, you fucking idiots.
Do you know what I love about those videos in particular? As soon as you make fun of either like religion or the Anzacs, that's when the like fucking political correctness gone mad. That's when those blokes sort of turn around.
Oh, they love it. Oh, another profile picture of a Lamborghini getting angry at me. Okay.
Yeah, so many comments on that video were just like, it's just about respect, hey, brother.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Righto.
Ooh, this is why your wife left you, because of your personality, champ. Yeah. Want to fix that?
Are you still making? Is TikTok where are you still making just as many videos, or you don't feel like you have to anymore?
Not as many anymore. I haven't made a sketch in a hot minute because it's mostly just been. I know I'm just like I'm always touring, so you never really have time. But most of it now is just putting stand up onto TikTok, which seemed to work well. But I would like to get more back into that sort of stuff because I do miss doing sketch quite a bit. That's why I'd like doing Deadlock. It was a bit different.
Yeah, so you acted in Deadlock, which is such a huge get. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deadlock 2. How did you find out that you landed that role? Did you have to audition, or did they just watch your TikTok and be like, he'd be perfect at this?
I don't really know because I don't have an agent or anything. Well, I think every like white male comedian around my age range got sent the same audition. Because I remember when I posted about the fact that I got it, like every comedian that I know around my age was like, was that for the character of blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's always a good one.
Yeah. But I just had to audition, and then I don't think I did the audition particularly well. I didn't really know what it was about. And then I think I can say it's set in Darwin this season. So they were like, he's from Darwin. He's a bit, he's a bit regional. And then
That's an
this
interesting
fits.
way for saying a different word. Yeah, regional. Yeah.
And then I'd do the audition, and I just did it in the voice I'm talking in now. And then they're so lovely. They're the best. But they were like, I really love what you did with that. with the voice. You really made him because
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Because they're like, he's not slow. He's just a step behind. So,
they're fucking roasting you like. I hadn't even start yet. Yeah. Like, nah, we love this. Keep doing that stuff.
And what was that experience like acting with?
It was great. Everybody was so lovely on set. Or the Kates are brilliant.
Oh man, they're so fucking funny.
But did you find it hard? Because was this your first acting gig?
Pretty much. I've done a couple of little things here and there, but nothing to that scale. No.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think. If it was any other show, it might have been a little bit harder to get into, but everybody's just so lovely on that set.
Yeah, right.
Like I rocked up the first day and like I was a bit intimidated of, Mads and Kate Box because I was just like, they're real actors.
Huge. Yes. Yeah.
And then I walked in and then just like I walked past Boxy and I was like, no, I'm just going to keep my head down. She was like, Blakey, like legend.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's good.
Yeah, everybody was lovely. And I think it helped that like a lot of comedians were on the show as well. But they did just let us, there are a couple of scenes where it was maybe one or two lines at the start and then it sort of molded into just like letting us improv, which was great. So
great. See, that's good.
Yeah, they really let us.
I would hate that. I'm like, line.
But you hate a script as well.
Yeah, I hate everything. Yep. You heard it here first. Fuck everyone. No.
One time we had this one. One time we did an episode with Ed Cavalier, and at the end, he said,
"Talk about this is so bad, dude. I hated it."
Ed had said, "I'll come onto your podcast. You just have to. I just need a favor in return."
Yeah,
we were like, "Yeah, mate. Like that's fine." And he was like creating like a pilot for a telly idea that he had, something along those lines. Anyway, we did the podcast. Everything was fine, and then at the end, he was like, "All right, so you guys just." You guys have to pretend we are on a podcast. He was filming his own stuff. I'm like a psychic or something. And you guys have to pretend that you're in a throuple and your third person has gone missing.
Right.
Okay. And we're like, okay. And he was like, so don't worry. Here's a script. It's really loose. Just go work. Like, you can make it up, but this is a general gist.
Keep going, bro.
And I was like, yeah, fine, easy. And we start the thing. And he was like, all right, so what's going on? Like, how are you guys going? And Brett was like, oh, I'm angry. I've had a fight with my girlfriend. And we were like, oh, no, Brett, I'm your girlfriend. And there's And we're like, what? Brett's, but we all had to just carry on because it was rolling. So we were like, let's try and save it. And I was like, oh yeah, your girlfriend, like, are you? And we did every single time we tried to turn it around, he'd fuck it again with something else. And we were like, okay. At the end,
we'll go again, won't we? He goes, nah, I reckon we got it.
He goes, I reckon we do. I reckon that's gone straight in the bin. And it was one of those things. I was like, wow, Brett, did you read the script at all? So when you're like, I need a script, I was like, you're a fucking liar.
I didn't read the script. They sent me. I was like, I'm not reading that.
That's sick.
I'll figure it out on the day. And I couldn't. Yeah. There you go. I tried to improv. Wasn't for fucking me. But you know what you
loved it.
Talking about before, and like when you go for multiple roles, I had one where I was like, oh, fuck, I reckon I'll get this. I'm playing a hunter. You know, that's not too much of a stretch for me. And then I was talking to Nighty, and he goes, yeah, I think I went for the same role.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, no, you've got that. You know what I mean? It's like, who's looking? I'm like, do I get Ben Knight, the world's most jackedest man, who's a great actor, or this cunt? I reckon we'll go with Nighty, yeah.
But the same, Nick Carr, who we were just talking about before, who's also on Deadlock, ginger comedian, Brisbane based.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely man.
Great dude.
He came and stayed with me. This was maybe a year and a half ago. He came and stayed with me. He's like, also, whilst I'm in Melbourne, I'm actually got an audition. And I was like, that's awesome. And he goes, I go, read me what you spoke. What's the character? And he was like, Bron, it's basically made for me. It is a ginger dude, bit chubby, like it's like way too into Asian things. Okay, like has like a kimono and has like a samurai sword and just like visits Thailand too much. Like really obsessed with Asian culture.
Well, that's not when you said really into Asian things, I was like, oh, what is this?
No.
Loves getting hand jobs, dude.
No!
Loves it.
And then and I was like, oh, this is great. And I dropped him off at the audition. And then in the afternoon when I saw him, I was like, how's it? And he was like, oh, no, it's not for me. It wasn't mine. I said, what do you mean? What happened? And he was like, as I finished the audition, I was walking out. Ben Knight was walking and goes, oh, we up for the same? And Nick Carr's like, well, you can fucking forget it. Don't worry about it.
Fuck, I love that that's the industry's version of chubby. It's just jacked rugby player, just like has a few beers and then just a little bit of a beer belly, but like 9 abs underneath it.
Yeah, you could push that out a bit, couldn't you, Champ? Yeah, I actually think he got it as well, didn't he? Because there was a role that Night he was playing, he was a bit fat as well.
Yeah, but Night had to put on weight for it. He would. And he said he was just drinking, what's that, Biscoff? What's that biscuit?
Yeah.
That, like that. Anyway, he just was drinking smoothies made out of like caramel and carbs.
Yeah, can't imagine why he got his pancreas removed. No idea. Man, I just got a flashback because I've actually fucking forgotten this one. But I maybe 5 years ago, I had a audition for Hamish and Andy's True Stories, which I was a big fan of.
What do they have to do? What's that? Do you remember this, Blake?
I remember this show,
Yeah, it was fucking huge.
It was like people would submit, true stories that happen, like their craziest stories, and then they would reenact it and make it all cinematic into like as the person was narrating the story.
Oh, great! That sounds cool.
Great show.
Yeah, it was great, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I got a fucking audition for this. I actually knew the director because I'm a lighting guy. I was like, oh fuck, that's that director who's done that. I fucking know him as well.
Yeah.
And they sent me the script, and I did not learn it, but I thought I had it in my head. And the night before, I may have had like heaps of bongs and just had a real good party session.
Hey,
rocked
you're
up.
not to blame for that.
And I don't know if my printer was fucked or whatever, but they sent us like 5 pages. But I think I hit print, only 1 came out. And
That's
they're
enough.
like, yeah, I was saying, what?
That's enough.
That's enough. Yeah, I get the idea. And then the guy gave us a script. I was like, I don't fucking remember this stuff. He's like, oh, just improv and riff and, comedy. And man, 5 minutes into it, they're just like, oh yeah, we got another guy coming. Yeah, I fucking just bellied up, couldn't do anything.
Oh, no.
They're like, just be in the moment. I was like, I don't even fucking know what I'm doing here. I just said, I'm sorry, guys. I've wasted everyone's time. I fucking suck.
Fuck, yeah.
Just walked out. I was like, never ask me for acting again. I was like, I think Hamish Blake was in the fucking room as well.
Oh, no.
Dude, it sucks so bad. And every time I see that director, he always looks at me, he's like,
Oh,
so
So that's the other reason I think I might have got deadlocked, because I haven't done many auditions like that before. So I'm on Zoom with these two people I've never met before, and I know that this is a sort of big show. So I'm shitting bricks, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like not going to get this, but I'm like shaking nervous. And then we get to the end, and I was like, I got the part, and they were like, we really like how sort of nervous you made. Like you were just so
thank you
scared.
very much.
And I was just like, yeah, thank you. That was a creative choice that I made on the day.
I pissed myself. That was method. Yeah.
Did they tell you at the end of your audition, or were they like, thanks very much, and then they had to go talk about it?
I think they just said thanks very much, and then
sure.
and then I didn't really hear back, and then
I fucking hate the auditions. One of them because which I ended up getting, but I was like, I rehearsed in the room. And I was just I had the laptop there, and I was staring there, and I was like, right. And I did all my rehearsals that way. And they go, can you look at the camera? And I said, no. I can't look here, because when I was practicing, I was looking over here. But I didn't say that to them. I said, no. And then I just did the line. They went, yeah, bye. And they're like, fuck, this cunt doesn't give a fuck. And I got the fucking role. I was on the tourist as well. I was so rude to them. They're like, fuck, this guy must have heaps of stuff going on. No, I'm just a fucking idiot. Yeah. I couldn't. I was like, no, I learned it over here. Yeah.
Immovable Brady. That's so good.
I can't tilt my head. I'll forget the words.
So Blake, you have just exploded on all of the comedy fronts, which is so cool. It's really great to watch from afar. But surely was comedy your first ever job? Because you're young. Like, how old are you?
I'm 20. I'm 23 now.
Yeah, okay. So how old were you when you did Raw? How old was that? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
4 years ago? Were you 19 or 20?
3 years ago, I would have been 20. Yeah.
Wow, so young. And was that so? You would have only just started comedy,
Pretty much. I think that was. I think that first Raw heat was probably my 4th gig ever.
Amazing.
Just because I moved to Melbourne after high school to try stand-up, and then we went into lockdown for like 11 months. So it was like months and months between gigs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Raw set was, maybe gig 4 or 5.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It was, really amazing. I thought you were definitely going to win it. And I read the review after Chortle does a review, and it said, like, Blake Pavey, it's a shame he didn't place, or like it's weird that he didn't win it, basically.
Yeah, I thought it was fucking bullshit as well.
Yeah,
that's actually what this is about.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy. They're against me, guys.
It must be hard, I reckon, for people to especially the people who think they're going to win, because there's an Adelaide comedian whose name is Rudy. You know, Rudy. Love Rudy. Love him.
Heaps of tats.
Heaps of tats.
Great. Yeah.
He's so great, such a nice guy, but he got a really short fuse. And he was in the year before us, so he was the South Australian finalist, and he says this openly. Like, I think he probably even put in his stand up, where he really thought he was going to win, because every other state had been in lockdown, and South Australia it was a little bit less strict, so they were still gigging. So he was gigging like every week, and he was like, I'm so much more gig fit than all these people. And then he went up on stage. He was so confident. Did his set, and he said he bombed. He was like the only bomber that he was like, he could not work out why it wasn't going well. And so he finished his set, came off stage. He was in his head, and he was like getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And then they all had to come back on stage, and they announced the winner, and they announced Prue Blake. And he was furious.
Really?
Like, he was so angry. He said he could hardly breathe. And then they say, all right, great, that's, well done. And now we're just all going to have a photo together. So all the finalists have to gather in the stage and smile.
Pretend to smile.
Yes, like, fine. And he was just getting angrier and angrier, and his face was getting redder and redder. And the guy was like, all right, a few more. And then Rudy went, you fucking got it, mate. And then stormed off the stage.
Fucking
and all the
rules, dude. But you kind of it's like, mate, can I just process this, because I've put a lot of stuff on it, a bit of emotion behind it. I was really invested in this being an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, everyone now fucking smile.
Smile,
all right,
be
now,
happy.
if you could all lie down, and we'll just get the winner just to walk all over you on the way out. If you don't mind that. It's got nothing to do with the photo. Just will be funny.
It'll be funny. I hosted Class Clowns last year, and because they're all little, they're kids, they're children. They're between, I think that the 15 and 18 or 14 and 18, and they all come from all over Australia, and they performed in front of hundreds of people. And then it's same thing as Raw. The winners announced while they're all on stage, then they have the photo. Yeah. And I was kind of watching. I had to be in the photo.
Oh, they do it
at
Clowns as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough for them.
Isn't it mean?
Isn't it mean?
And so these kids were on stage, I was looking at them and I was smiling. I was like, I hope they're not disappointed. But I saw this girl at the back and her chin was going like crazy and like tears were, her eyes were welling up, and she was like, and her mum would have been in the audience being like, no, she's going to cry. But they're all like heartbroken. And then there was just one lady in the front, or one girl who was just like, yeah, nailed it. But the rest were like, ow. Hundreds of people watching their disappointment in real time.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it's like a gig fit thing, because I just remember the day of it. It's just such a draining day. Like they make you rock up to town hall at 7 a.m. and then you can't leave. It's really grim. Like you can go for, I think you get like an hour lunch break and then you're just stuck there. And if you're like 9th on the lineup, like you're getting out of there at like 10:30 at night.
Fuck,
Like,
that is a big
you're all
day,
good.
isn't it?
Yeah, you're all getting out there. So, but then, to try and remember your thing. And I mean, there was one woman on our, I think it was a Sydney lady. She's really nice, but she was so nervous at the time that I thought she was just really rude.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
what the fuck's her problem? Christ, say, oh my God, she's taking it seriously. But she was just terrified because it was like the weight of it was, I was too hungover to feel any
I was
stress.
also incredibly hungover.
Oh, that's the key here, guys. Get maggot the night before.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was so excited. Because I look back, actually, last night I watched my my state final, in Queensland state final Raw set, and it's so bad. I'm like laughing in between the it's horrific to look back at.
It's like
you
raw,
knew.
it's new.
I know, but it's
Must be nice to make it to the fucking final. Didn't get past the semis in Perth, and we all know how shit those comedians are over there.
So you've gone from Raw to way huge, much bigger things anyway. But so does this mean that your first ever job's comedy?
No, I had little shit jobs in high school throughout back in Corowa. I think my first ever job was I was a dish pig at a golf club.
Yeah, I love when people say dish pig.
Yeah.
I love
they hate it though.
I know.
They
He's
hate
one of
it.
them. He can say whatever he wants.
Yep.
He's people.
Yep.
He's off the snout.
Yep. But I was at the Corowa Golf Club, but I only got that job. I was a nepo baby because my mum just worked on payroll there, so that's how I got the job.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Whoa, how did you get this gig?
Yeah.
Well, I know someone.
Yeah. Everybody in my family worked at that golf club at one point, I think, except for my dad. But all the kids have now, all because of
Been
mum.
through. Yeah. She knows.
It was a real system.
Was it a good job, or was it just like fucking whatever?
Oh, it was a bit. It was fine. I think I like being just a dish pig because you kind of get your own space to
I can
fuck
relate to
around.
that.
You can put headphones in. You usually get just like free shit from the bar if you want to get like I'm like 14, so I just get like free.
You
like
get free food off the plates that they haven't eaten. It's fucking sick. Yeah.
And then you could just kind of hang out, but then there would be times where you'd have to like double up as a waiter as well on like bingo night on a Thursday.
He's got range.
Got range.
This is how you got into acting.
Bingo on a Thursday. Oh, bring that little mustache over here. Legs 11. Hello.
So it's fucked up. My mum actually used to call the bingo as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, so I did prefer just being dish pig, but when I would get sent out onto the floor, that's when I'd crumble under pressure.
Because a golf club would be like fucking all the uppity people, wouldn't it?
Not uppity, because my town's a bit of a shithole, but it was just like old people, and that's worse than uppity people, in a way. Yeah. But a lot of them were also, they were nice to me because a lot of them were just my mum and dad's friends from playing golf, so they'd always like, you could fuck up and they'd give you a bit of leeway. They'd just let you do what you want, but they'd be like, well, that's classic bikey.
Don't worry, throw my Palmer on the floor. I don't mind. I'll pick it up. You're right,
The bloody
mate.
pube in this one again. He goes, yeah, all right. Yeah, I feel like you're actually doing this on purpose now, but I know your parents, so it's fine.
So is that the worst job you've ever had, do you reckon?
No, the worst job I've ever had, I worked at the reject shop.
Oh,
For about
in
7
Corowa?
months. In Corowa.
Oh, that's a rough get, dude. Yeah. There would be some fighting people in there.
Oh, dude, yeah, man. No, I can say I haven't seen any of these people in years. Fuck that whole staff, man.
Yeah, good.
Yes,
Yeah.
burn the bridge you no longer need. Yeah.
Nah, not the whole staff. They were just, I don't know what it is. Like the reject shop, the reject portion of that establishment, it goes into even the facilities that the staff have to use. Like the registers that we would have to use, they were from the 80s. You'd have to do all of the maths yourself.
Oh.
And
we got no number 9, so just work around that. Make it like 88 or something to round it up.
It was some weird thing of if it was like something over getting into like 3 digits, you'd have to put in like a weird little like you'd have to put in a 4th digit because it wouldn't register as like some weird thing.
God.
So there were so many days where I'd walk in after a shift and they'd be like, we lost like $200 today. Do you know why that is? I was like, yeah, because probably like
The registers don't work.
Yeah.
You know the abacus you're making me fucking use? Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Counting on your hand.
Yeah, I'm using something that looks like the original like Turing test Enigma machine to like
Got fucking dials. It's gonna explode.
yeah, and so yeah, that was by far the worst job I've ever had. Just constantly fucking up, knowing it's not my fault.
Yeah.
And then just the boss was
Mate, we're fucking down.
They got paid all right. I remember my knowing a girl. This was years ago now. Who used to be like an assistant manager at the reject shop in Queanbeyan.
Yeah.
And she was on this. She was 19 or something. She was on like 60 grand. I was
Jesus.
like, this was 15, 20 years ago. And I was like, the assistant
reject
manager.
shop.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But then I don't know how I didn't figure it out before I started working there. But then on my first day, we're doing stock take, and I'm like, oh, it's cheap because it's all about to expire.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Or it's already expired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can you
What
sell
do you mean?
that?
You can do whatever
There
the
must
fuck you
be
want.
some, yeah. I don't know how they get away
Can't
with
ring it
it.
through the till. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
If it says best before, that's different to expired.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's a grey line, isn't it?
Yeah, and then people eat anything. I bought a jam the other day from Sydney Road. It was 3 years out of date.
Did you go back?
Nah. It was from it was like it's from like a similar thing to a reject shop. I didn't know. I was like, fuck, $2. You beauty. It's a limited edition. So I was like,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I could sell this. This is going to
It's
increase
not
in
fucking
value.
cheese, mate. It doesn't get better with age, does it?
It's rhubarb and strawberry. I was like, that's awesome. It's brown. It probably shouldn't be, but I was like, it's probably the rhubarb. And I took it home.
God, that
And the
fucking
kids like-
rhubarb gave me the shits.
Kids like, we don't like that one.
Yeah,
I
also
was like-
way to really spoil your kids. Hey kids, who wants some rhubarb? Fucking hell, is it the depression again, is it?
Anyway, but we still got it in the fridge. I won't chuck it out.
Nah, why would you?
Could sell it. It's limited
Yeah.
edition. You
Good
don't
shit.
know. You don't know what's going to increase in value. You don't know.
Yeah.
In this climate, you don't know. There's a bloke.
Could be fucking that. But what are the people you got in the reject shop? Reject shop's country towns. I'm guessing a certain clientele.
Yeah, there is a certain look, it's
They love greyhound racing.
yes.
There we go.
Yep.
They love mobility scooters, even though their legs work.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That is genuine, actually such a perfect
They
representation
say
of the
racist
demographic.
things, but they love Chinese.
Oh, yeah.
Meals.
Yes. Yeah. That is my favourite bit about a country town. Just like, it's so racist, but like the Indian shop is pumping.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah, that's their one thing. No, we don't. See, I can't be racist. I bloody get an Indian.
I get a butter chicken sometimes. I like it. It's
Yeah, I get
nice.
curry on me chips. Fucking what else do you want me to do?
I remember vividly, I think I was about 15 and like I was a bit of a pub kid growing up. Like mum and dad would just like sit you there.
Yeah.
You just
Oh, yeah, bag of chips and a Coke.
bag of chips. And I was loving it. I was like, this is great. Like a lot of my or a lot of my friends' parents were alcoholics, but they'd keep them at home.
Yeah.
And then, but like they brought me into the fun, which was
They
good.
wanted you to see. Let
Yeah.
the boy watch. This is the only way he will learn.
Yeah.
This is why Dad comes back with a black eye every night.
But yeah, it was sick. But I just remember vividly like an old dude because we just opened up, or the town had just opened up the like the HSP shop, and we were stoked. We were like, yes, finally some culture. And this dude was like, oh,
A little snack pack.
yeah. And then this one dude, we were just, oh man, like Terry, like HSP joints opened up, and he was just like, oh fuck, because he didn't really know. He was like an old dude, he doesn't really know what that is. And we are like, oh man, it's just like a meat pack, just a bit of sauce, it's good, and it's like the you know the new like Muslim family, they're like running the joint, and it's just like, oh yeah, better not be fucking halal though.
We just call it snack pack here.
We're like, no, it's not halal, man. It's not halal.
Yeah, it really bothers him which way the animal was killed. Yeah. You probably had halal before, not known, dude.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, which is actually true. I remember there was a 60 Minutes thing once. There was this woman who was on her high horse about anything that was halal was un-Australian. So she was going through. She was like dairy milk chocolate. She's going through the supermarket, picking up things, showing the camera.
I remember this
Yeah.
one.
Do you
They're
remember
like,
this? It was
Vegemite? Yeah. Do you know that's halal?
I was like, how do you care?
Who
How
gives
do
a
you
fuck?
fucking
Yeah.
care? But that she would have almost certainly been from a town like where you're from.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. It was
don't
probably
like
my mum. No.
Come to think of it, I think it was your mum.
Yeah, great.
First TV debut. Yeah, not the only one with talented on TV, are we?
That's
Blake?
right.
Yeah, Mum's up there saying some racist shit.
So how long are you at Reject Shop for?
I think about 6 months.
And did you quit or get fired?
I quit, and I was so pissed off. I quit on stock take day
Why is that?
because
Why?
that's just the most hectic day.
Oh, they were pissed off because you quit on stock take day.
Yeah.
Oh, you okay? I thought you
Because
said
they were
you
working me on the register that day, and I just knew that
Oh, it was
they were
gonna
just like,
fuck
it's
'em.
stock take day.
Stock take sucks.
Yeah, and
We are counting rotten Freddo frogs all day.
yeah.
You better get on that register that doesn't work.
Yeah, so I made sure I planned out my 2 weeks to hit on that day.
Oh, that's a good cunt
Because
move.
I knew I'd be working the register, and then I was like, well, guys, I have to go, I have to head off. Thanks for having me.
And the worst job was the register because you had to do all your own counting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And I was not a maths kid whatsoever at school. I was here
Actually, so is that why when you were on, it was always $200 out?
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
I just making
I
sure.
had $200 in my pocket. No fucking questions. You got some new Nikes. Fucking move on. Coast close. I'm down the pub. Get a halal snack pack with me, mate. Fuck. I worked at Dick Smith and they electronics because my mate. I didn't know anything about electronics, but my mate was a regional manager or whatever. Got me the job. Knew nothing about electronics. Like, yeah, I guess that's what RAM is or whatever. And they had all the small component stuff like resistors that would go into circuit boards. Just all this fucking weird shit. I had no idea what it was. Every stock take, it's like, is there 20 of them there? I'm like, yep. Yep. I'm not fucking counting these things, dude. This is going to take ages. I'll just go do a shit for 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, everything's fucking, yeah, all the numbers
They're
are
all there.
fine. Yeah, I guess.
They're all there. No worries. Yeah. And so is that the closest you've been to a spectacular quitting situation?
Pretty much, yeah. Most of my other jobs after that were great jobs. Yeah. Miss them dearly. Like I was a delivery boy for a pharmacy in year 12.
Fucking stealing the stuff as well, were you, mate?
Oh my
God.
On the
sick.
Oxy?
Anytime there's a mention of any pharmaceuticals, Brett's like, did you steal Oxys? That is, I'm so sorry. He's probably on them right now.
No, it's so fine. And I wish I did if I knew what oxys were at the time.
Yeah, I'll take you under my wing, mate. I'll ruin your life as well.
Yeah, but that was sick. I'd just go after school every day, just like get the packs, and then you just work by yourself for like 3 hours, 4 hours delivering
And you just be delivering to little old ladies and stuff.
Yep.
And that'd be so nice.
Yep.
They'd come in for a cup of tea.
Genuinely. It was so
Yes.
sick. And you were on no time limit as well. Just like if you got all the packs done, you just go home afterwards. You don't have to like get back in and like sign off anything. It was awesome. Old ladies would try to flirt with you.
Oh, all right, here we go. Now we know how he lost his fucking V plates.
Because I respected my mother.
Yes,
She loved
yes,
it.
yes.
She was so on board.
And so that was in year 12. And then did you move to Melbourne shortly after that? You must have.
Shortly after, no, I did a little like after high school because I was making like those COVID videos in year 12. And just
Amazing.
like, so basically I was just kind of semi reporting on the news that would happen, but just turn it into a sketch. And then I graduated high school and I was about to move to Melbourne. Me and my brother, like literally, we had an apartment locked up. And then I got a call from the ABC in Adelaide because they have a show called BTN, like Behind the News, which is just like news for children.
Yeah, you used to be able to, you used to watch it at school. Did you
Yeah.
watch it
Yeah.
at school? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go in the AV room, sit on the steps,
Yeah.
watch BTN.
Yep.
Do a
So,
worksheet after. Don't worry about it.
It was great stuff. Great show. So
Yeah.
I worked on that for like probably about 2 months, just on a work trial after
That's
high
fucking
school.
cool. Straight out of high school, working
Yeah.
in kind of at TV, I'd been over
Yeah,
the moon.
and that was a sick job, but it was in Adelaide, which it wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I actually like Adelaide, but
I
like
fucking
when
love
you're,
Adelaide.
but it was kind of, I think they timed it so well because they flew me in the day the Fringe started, and the work trial ended a couple of days before the Fringe ended. So they were like, "This is what Adelaide's like all the time. You should
Yeah.
stay, get an apartment right now." And then someone clued me in on that's not what life is like
No,
there.
it's only 1 month when Adelaide's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It's true.
and then
2
I
months
just
the supercars have moved. Anyway, continue. 2 months is good. Thank you.
Okay.
but then but I was making videos. I was still making videos at the time, and there was just like it was when that shit of like ScoMo, like he was getting Jenny to do everything for him. Everybody was giving him shit about that.
Yes.
So I made a video about that, and it was just like a dumb, like, "Oh, Jenny, can you come wipe my ass?" Just like stuff, just stupid stuff. And then I go into work the next day, and they were like, "You can't do that, like, because he's technically your employer."
Oh, because it's a ABC thing,
Yeah.
sure.
Fuck,
So
there
that-
was a lot of steps to get to the Prime
Yeah.
Minister there or whatever the fuck it is.
So then they were like, "Hey, you can either like, yeah, if you want to keep doing that sort of stuff, you probably have to." not work for the ABC anymore, or you can keep working here. And I was like, I'm probably just getting more views on videos than the ABC is getting at 5 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it was
that would have been was that a tough decision?
not as tough as I remember. No, I don't think it was, because I was like, it was a cool job, but then, and it would have been a good salary at like 19.
Yeah.
But I think I was pretty set on Melbourne, and like Adelaide's a bit too far from Corowa back home. Like Melbourne's, it's 3 hours. I just jumped in the car, but like Adelaide's grim, and I knew nobody there.
Just okay. So it would have been. So how many months were you doing that for?
Just like 2 months on a trial, pretty much.
Okay, so 2 months is a long time to feel pretty lonely, and I can't at BTN. I can't remember it being funny. I can't. Was it?
Well, they fired him. That's why.
Because he was too funny.
Too funny.
Yeah. Too funny. No. But were you like stoked with the stuff that you were putting out for BTN?
Well, I wasn't really putting out heaps of stuff. I was kind of just helping out, writing stories and stuff, and then I'd get in like one of those little like sketches they would do in between. But it was a sick job. I really enjoyed it, but I was just like, I'm not into journalism. Like it's
and it's like a fucking very specific thing you're going to be talking about. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want.
And then you have to get like your draft approved, and then that draft approved, and then it gets knocked back. You have to start again.
Boring. Oh, so it would have felt like a high school, like
pretty much, yeah.
Work.
And because you're presenting news to children, you just have to be upbeat about pretty horrific shit. You'd have
Syria?
You'd have to get on.
I barely knew her.
You'd literally have to get on and just be like, guys, cool cats, Ukraine, kind of fucked, hey? Like,
you're like those, those churchy people that come into your school, like, let's talk about God. Yeah, fuck off, man.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And what was because the turning point? Because like obviously you worked for the TV thing, but then obviously your online was kicking off. Did that start kicking off before you got there? Like, did you already have like millions of followers and views before you got there?
Or before the ABC thing? Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I'd been making videos for like a year. My whole year 12 was really, really weird. It was like I was in high school in like this little country town, but I was just like, I think I remember one day my science, because the teachers were clued in on like, oh, who's this fucking TikToker? They didn't really think it was legitimate. And then I think I was at about, I think it was like 150,000 followers like at the time. But then my science teacher, Miss Lowe at the time, on the Monday, she was like, how many followers you got? And I was like, 150,000. And then by the Thursday, she was like, oh, how many now? Big shot. And I was like, about 350,000 now. Like it jumped up.
Amazing.
It was it was a really, really weird year.
Was that weird being at school and kind of essentially being famous as well? Like,
yeah.
It was a little bit weird, but I think what helped is that it was such a small town and they knew me before that. So it was kind of just like everybody at the same time, including me, were like, oh, this is really weird, hey.
Oh, so they could see the progression. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a fucking famous.
Yeah,
guy.
so like you would never like, I didn't think anybody knew who I was, but then like we did our first like boys trip to Melbourne when we all turned 18, and my first time ever being out in Melbourne when I was 18, we went to Laneway Festival, and it was just it was a hectic day of
everyone
just like
recognizing you.
Yeah, because it'd be cool if it was like one person. I was like, fuck yeah, one person recognized me.
Yeah.
But at a music festival full of like 18-year-olds like me, they were just like, and I was like, I don't know.
MDMA
awesome.
Notoriously makes people quiet and shy and not going like, I fucking love you.
Yeah.
You're my favorite dude.
Yeah.
And did you start making money pretty quickly from TikTok?
No, but we don't know. TikTok is, you don't make money per video. You have to just do brand deals over here, which kind of sucks. I only started making money when I started touring stand-up.
Okay.
Interesting.
And then what do you prefer, stand-up or like creating content?
Definitely stand-up.
Okay, cool.
Stand-up's a lot of fun. Yeah.
You are selling out gigantic theatres everywhere.
Did you do like a UK tour or some shit as well?
I opened for Kidgel in the UK for most of it, and
cool.
then
I love that.
Then at the end, I did a solo in London, which was cool. Yeah,
that's fucking like a real pinch moment. You're like, I'm fucking got a big show in London.
It was really weird. Yeah, because it was at Leicester Square Theatre as well, and it was really like at the time it was like in this weird spot where like. It's where Gervais just does his like new material trial shows, but it's like a 400-seater, and he would just put on like 80 of them to trial new shit. So it was just like Ricky, Blake, and then like Ricky 80 more times.
Yeah, wow.
Really, really weird.
Did you meet him?
I didn't.
Cool.
No, spewing.
Oh man, that would actually. That would be. I don't think I get starstruck too much, but I would get pretty starstruck with that guy. I reckon.
Yeah.
Like fuck yeah, that's the guy that made Anyway.
All
those awkward, the crab guy, like.
Oh, you're talking The Office.
Oh, yeah, I can't watch it sometimes. I've got to stop.
Best dance ever. Did you watch The Office?
I watched the UK one, yeah.
Yes.
I think the UK one's 10 times better than the US one.
I never watched the
What about
US
the Australian one? No.
I liked it.
No,
I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
The bit where they the funeral bit genuinely made me laugh out loud when the only photo they had of that dude was his driver's license on the sideshow. Amazing bit.
Fuck, it was good.
Oh, how on the Australia bit where it was pajama day and that one guy had his button didn't work in his pants, so his cock was always out, so it was always just a blurred bit of him walking past.
It's good shit.
Killed me. I have Felicity Ward every time she's eating, it's all over her face. It's just slapstick. It's so funny. I loved it.
Felicity's great. She's so funny, dude.
So funny and lovely as well.
Yes.
The double. I'm just annoyed I wasn't one of the guys in the factory on the forklift. I was like, I could have played
You could have done
Yep.
that.
Could have done that. Got the license as well, guys. Just letting you know. I'm around. A lot of free time.
Well, they're confused. Do you want a script or not want a script? It's really hard.
I don't want a script and I don't want a riff. So work within my parameters, please. If I could just get the full fucking what's that? Who's that cunt from Taken? What's his name? The main Liam Neeson. Yeah, just get the full Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Just tell me my lines.
Is that what he does?
Yeah.
He's got a little fucking thing.
Oh, I noticed that on Modern Family. The dad, whatever his name is.
Phil?
No,
the
old guy.
Oh,
Might just be a
Jay.
hearing aid,
Jay. He had that in. And when I noticed that, I was like, there you go. But also, he's old. He's like, I don't care. I'm getting paid like $500,000 per episode.
And like you look at the amount of dialogue per day that they have to get through.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane, dude. Did you have heaps of lines on your deadlock? And how did you actually, that's a good question. How did you get around fucking tackling all the dialogue? I'm taking notes when you say it, by the way. Yeah.
Mine was pretty. I was quite lucky because my character's sort of like the youngest of this family. We're sort of like just a sort of croc tour family, so I'm just the one that kind of hangs back, and then he has some bits where he has to say a little bit here and there, but there was never a day where I'd be like, I have to memorize a monologue and like all this different dialogue. It would be like I'd rock up, I'd be like, all right, I fucking nailed those 3 lines. This is awesome.
Man, that's always my dream, is like just in every shot, like, but the guy, like an explosion goes off and he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
yeah, that's all.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to know what you want sometimes, Brady. But
often
that's
don't.
what you want.
I want to be in every scene, get paid heaps of money, get all
And
the
just do
accolades,
this.
but not
Whoa.
have. Whoa.
That's
all
Like
you
an
do?
explosion, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or then or someone gets punched in the face in a pub scene. I'll be that as well.
Yeah.
You get punched in the face, or you'll be like, whoa.
I'll
Which
both.
one?
Both.
Punch in the
Punching
face
guy.
and say whoa afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good hit. Whoa.
Whoa.
Good
that hurt
shit.
my face. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too many lines over.
I just think it's really important for people to know what you want, because you keep sending out like requests, and they all contradict each other. And I just want
it sounds like a lot of my life. Yeah, just got a sea of contradictions, no idea or direction what he wants in life. Yeah.
So you moved into comedy, where I think at such a young age, which I think is really amazing, because I started comedy in my mid-30s after I'd had 2 kids, because I just did not think it was something attainable for a really long time. Like, it was just like one of those things where people did it and it's like, well, that's not for someone like me, or that's not for people I know. It's for like make-believe people. But you did it. You started so early, and I guess TikTok was a good way for you to get into it, to be like, no, I've got such validation from 350,000 people saying I'm funny all the time. With these 350,000 people, not all of them would have loved you. So how did you, at such a young age, deal with the people who were throwing negativity towards you?
No. I've been lucky. I haven't got that much of it, really. Especially, mostly during the COVID stuff. That was when it was most... that was when most of it would get thrown my way. But I was kind of egging it on. Like, I'd make anti-vaxxer videos, and then I would reply to comments and get...
I saw a lot of your replies in there, and I was loving it.
They never got you down?
Not really, no. Because I just know, like, objectively, just like a cunt, like, protesting on the street for, like a fucking tradies, just like, he's not going to come and bash the fuck out of me and my mum. Like he would threaten.
Yeah.
But,
was your mum following you and watching what was going on, or was this still...
she was a little bit. She was just like, oh, don't egg them on. And I was just like, they don't know where I live. It's fine. And it was like, I was like, look, after this is all said and done, I bet I'll get those same people at, like, my Tamworth show just being like, fucking love you, Blakey.
Yeah,
shit,
you
mate.
also, you would have.
Yeah, people forget.
Yeah, and also you're like, man, I'm pretty sure you got like CF as well. You're like, I think that's gonna get me before fucking
Yeah.
you do, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And so did you? So has anyone? Did you have you had to block? Do you block people if they to start turning on you?
No, not really. I think.
Wow.
No, I think it's fine. Like, I don't know. It's just another comment. Just kind of just helps the algorithm, I guess. Yeah.
See, that's incredible. See, because when people come for me, it's always a moment where
Bron
I'm
gets
like,
freaked out, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Can you believe this guy said?" Oh, yeah, a guy said something about your tits online. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I
And I'm
suppose
like,
I'm not
I'll
being
block him
objectified. I wish I
instantly.
was. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I blocked
The
it
chicks talked about my
instantly.
package. That's sick. You know?
You see, I get none of that.
Yeah, I get none of that either. Fuck,
Yeah.
must be nice.
That stuff annoys me. When people say women aren't funny, that I love those ones. They're my favorite ones.
Yep.
When someone says it, I'm like, you've just proved my point. Like
Yeah.
I've made jokes about people like you in this special, and you've just come along and said exactly what I've said you were going to do. Thank you very much. Well done. And I'll screenshot it and I'll put it on my things. I will not block out their name nor their picture. Fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah, that's good.
But I'm like almost 40. But I don't think I would have had that kind of that perspective when I was 20 years old or even 18 or 17 when you started. I think that is amazing for you to be like, no, it's just a comment. Like I would have been like, ow, my feelings.
Yeah. No, I don't really. Yeah. I think I just get a bit, you know, I do look at the profiles and I do think about it for like the next 7.5 hours, but I'm just like, yeah, it's a dude with like a fish that he just
Yes.
caught.
It's the same person.
I think my life is objectively a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than, yeah.
Well, see, that's incredible. What is if
How big's
have
this
you
fish, though?
had
If
like
it's a big fish? That's a pretty good life.
It was a pretty good fish.
Yeah, fuck.
Jesus, that is, you're right.
Yep.
He is winning.
Yep.
And so have you had someone who's come that continuously trolling you, someone who's just had it in for you and then just keeps
Even
coming
rocked
back?
up to a show after that or some shit.
Not really. I mean, you just get the couple that roll. They're just, I just don't get the logic behind it. There's this one dude who like will, not all the time, but it just like will incrementally like periodically come back. Like I'll just post something on my story or promoting a show and then it'll be like, I think the last one was just like, mate, we used to have so many fucking great comedians in this country and now it's just you and all these fucking, what the fuck happened? I was just like, Carl Barron didn't die, man. Like, his shows are on sale right now.
Yeah.
You can go follow
He's
him.
actually in your town.
Yeah.
Well, I fucking can't get out.
I actually prefer like the most vitriolic hate comment than most of the comments that I get are just like, I'll put on 14 shows at the comedy festival and people will be like, Blakey, when you coming to Melbourne, mate?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they're my
Kills me.
favourite
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Or just like when you run into people on the street and they're just like, Blake, when's your next Melbourne show, man? And you're like, oh, man, March 26th to April 11th, Comedy Festival. He's like, man, I'm fucking coming. That's a surefire way of knowing I'm never going to see that man again.
Yeah,
I'm your
absolutely.
biggest, man, I had one at the catfish. Man, I'm your fuck, Brett. I'm your biggest fan. When's your next show? Right now, upstairs. Oh no, I've got a beer coming. Big fan, are you? Biggest fan. Can't even walk up 3 fucking flights of stairs. Fuckhead.
Yeah, I love when people who contact you be like, "Hey, huge fan, can't make it though.
Yep.
I've got some things happening, and I'm not feeling very well." And you're like, "I know I'm supposed to be kind right now, but you just want to write back and be like, please fuck off.
Yeah.
Like you're wasting both of
When
our
you come to
time."
Sydney? Oh no, I got a fishing trip that weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, well this has been a good chat then, hasn't it? Yeah,
Productive.
Yeah.
But if you're getting a sale though, you're like, I'll take that $20.
absolutely.
Yeah, my thing is a lot of my fans are still, a lot of them are like still very young. So they think I can change licensing laws around the country. They're just like, Blake, when are you going to let 13-year-olds into these shows, man? And I'm like doing like a bar, I'm just like, man, I can't change the law.
I'll tackle that after I hit workplace reform, I reckon.
Yeah, it's, I just don't get the logic of just
So what do your fans look like? If you were to walk out into a giant theatre, they turn the house lights on. If you were to look at them, what age are we looking at?
we're going about 16 to 24, it's gotten a bit more. It is a lot of girls because I think girls are just like, they organise going to things a lot better.
Oh, that's interesting actually. Okay, yep, sure.
And then, so it's mainly just like 16 to 24, I'd say female, white.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the average Blake Pavey ticket buyer.
And
And,
so
then their boyfriend.
Yeah,
Ah,
guys
okay.
suck at buying tickets.
Yep.
they're so fucking annoying. It's like, God damn it.
That's the thing. When a girl come up, like, just like, oh my God, I'll come to your next show. I think they will probably come to my next show.
And they'll bring 5 people. You've got to see this guy. He's great. Come see him.
Yep.
Guys will be like, I'll just be shooting something in the shed, I reckon.
That is interesting that your audience is mostly women. Is your audience mostly blokes, Freddie?
Yeah, that's why I have low ticket sales.
Oh,
They don't rock up.
I
I'd say mainly men, but who knows?
Yeah. So when you do, because a lot of your stuff is crowd work, like you throw a lot of questions to the audience. This is where you get a lot of your clips because they want to see you, dancing on your toes. You know, how are you so quick? How do you do that in real time?
You're a cunt. You're a cunt. Thank you.
Do you walk out when you can see them? Are you like the front few rows because they know what they're in for? You are all wanting to be like you are here for one reason. It's to yell shit out.
You do get a lot of clip farmers. They just they want to be in a clip.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So they're like, has anyone had anything weird happen to them? They just make up some bullshit.
Yeah. So I've kind of just made a rule now. If you're in the first 3 rows, I'm not talking to you. Because it's usually just like the dude who's 9 rows back to the left in the dark who actually has an interesting story.
Yeah.
But he will just think of it. He will just be like, oh yeah, I did kill that person once. And then that's usually a good clip. Or someone's mum will come to the show. They've usually got life experience and they have something to say. But usually it's just it's not their fault. There'll be an 18-year-old girl just here's what icks me out.
Yeah. So because obviously you do so much crowd work, when you walk out, are you doing crowd work first and then you stand up, or are you starting off with stand up and they're like, hey, we don't care about that. We want you to fucking start rinsing people. Do you have that problem?
A little bit. I think it's gotten a little bit better. Cause, I think people I've sort of I usually just it depends if I've got a bit. There's actually not heaps of crowd work in the show. Maybe 10 minutes, or if something really funny happens, then it'll go for a while. But I think they get a bit weirded out when it's just an actual show.
Yeah.
That flows and goes from bit to bit. They're like, oh. And then it usually takes them 10 minutes to be okay, now we're on board with.
Now I get it.
Just setups and punchlines.
Even Jimmy Carr, it's because everyone's just so used to heckling him and seeing all the clips and him doing that shit. It's as soon as you walk out, you're just for fuck's sake, I just want to do my job.
Yeah, shut up. It must be really annoying. There was Bill Burr, the famous Philadelphia gig. We were just talking about this earlier with Dave Thornton, and how he went out and he was just kind of pushing through a horrible gig, and he was telling him to shut the fuck up, and they were getting louder and louder, and it was getting funnier and funnier the more difficult the gig was getting, and that kind of was how he became famous, was how much he turned on the crowd.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a podcast he recently where he was saying it was a blessing because it helped his career so much, but it was also a curse because it meant that every single time he'd go to a big gig, they were like, this is what we do for him, watch him turn on us. So every audience was trying to make him angry and be yell shit out and really fuck with him and tell him that they wanted him to roast them all. And he was like, can I just please do some jokes? Do you find, what do you do when you have an audience which just want you to do crowd work?
I think it's just you just sort of push through. I mean, there's nothing really you can do. Usually it's pretty, most of the tour this year was fine. I didn't really have any hiccups whatsoever. It's just the further up Queensland you get.
Yes.
I remember Bundaberg being particularly dreadful. They just didn't, I'd do a joke and they'd be like, what is this? But
he's speaking out of his mouth.
Yeah. It was really
farting into the mic.
But I think that is the good thing about having a lot of girls come to shows, because I think they're just a lot more, they're bigger laughers, they're a lot more supportive. They will bring 5 of their friends and kind of giggle at anything.
Not paralytic, probably not going to fight you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but because I always like looking at, because we always set up a camera like this to film the crowd, and I always like looking just at the reactions throughout the room. Yeah. Because it's always girls just the entire time girls will just be smiling. Yeah. But just to get a bloke on board and to get a bloke to have a good time and not, I don't know what it is about another bloke being funny in front of your girlfriend.
Yeah. I reckon there's definitely something in that.
It wigs them out, yeah. Especially at meet and greets as well.
They'll be the missus is oh my God. They're oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
he's
weird.
better than me, does he?
Yeah.
You're from Bundaberg.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, it's the worst when you get like a photo of you and you feel like you've like they're like, oh, we took photos of that gig, and you're like, oh, that's awesome because it was a really good gig. I can't wait to see you. And you'll get the photo of you in the audience. You'll see a bunch of ladies laughing, and then one bloke who's just like giving me a death stare. And I'm like, oh, you idiot! Why did you sit in the front row?
Yep.
You hate women. Yeah, so that was
men are just bad at showing them. Because there's a gig I did in regional Adelaide, and this guy in this Melbourne shirt, just like this old school Melbourne rugby top, and I just clocked him because of the shirt. But I was like, this had his arms folded the whole fucking time, hating it. And then I was like riffing with him, hated it. And then fucking Adelaide CBD is like an hour and a half away, and he fucking came to my solo shows. Yeah, I love the stuff you did.
Yeah,
the other day.
insane.
What?
Yeah.
No, you hated it. You didn't laugh once or smile. He goes, yeah, nah, yeah, I like that. Thought I'd come see you solo. Yeah, it was good. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with your face?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just thinking about other things. Sometimes you don't know. They're thinking about how am I going to neck myself after this? You know, you don't know what blokes are thinking.
What's comments are going to write on Brian Lewis's Facebook page today?
Yeah, what if
I show my big fish?
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, I think the worst show I've ever done was my first ever time going to Shepparton for shows.
What, is this your worst ever gig?
Worst ever gig,
Oh,
yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
It's
I think that's the second one we've had about Shepparton. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone else has got a bad one.
But it was in this really weird venue. It was a weird... It wasn't a bar, it wasn't a venue. It was like a weird shed somewhere.
So who organised this for you?
Just like we couldn't, because it was at the point where just like we'd never been there. We didn't know how many tickets we could sell. So they were like, there's this 80-person like function room. And it wasn't really a function room, but we rock up and we're like, this is grim. And it was genuinely an hour of just like me telling jokes, and they would literally look at me. I remember looking out, I probably still have the footage of it, just like every joke, they'd just be like,
oh no.
I remember I had to sit down on stage at one point and go, guys, this is like, we're going to like, and I had to teach them to be like, what's your name?
Yeah.
I'm Tanika. Just like, and do like, just teach them how to respond to stuff. And then I'm like doing my closing joke about, you know, it's about like John Cena and Make-A-Wish and stuff like that. And I was just saying blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I'm talking to blah, 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 blah. And it was the only time somebody said anything during the show. They're just, what'd you fucking say to Cena, mate? What'd you say to him? And I'm like about to tell them what I've said to him. And I was just like, oh, I just said to him that I can't wait to do this show in front of 70 fuckheads in Shepparton. And you guys have been great. Good on you. But then they come up to you afterwards. They were just like, mate, that was the best gig I've ever...
Yeah.
You are the bomb, man. You are the
Can I get a photo?
Yeah. So grim.
Oh, my God.
I think with Ben Lomas, he's been on the podcast before. He taught me this. He was like, you go to the country, you actually have to tell them how to sit in a show.
Yeah.
They don't come to shows often. They're used to watching telly at home. Well, you don't have to react. It makes no difference whether you laugh out loud or just in your heart.
Yep.
And so he said, I watched him do it. I went to a country gig. This was, Christ, it was ages away. It's like it was like 5 hours outside of Melbourne. Oh my God, it was so far away. And he got up on stage and he was like, so when a comedian tells a joke and you think, God, that is a funny thing to say, you laugh out loud. We want to hear it. And I was like, this is so patronising.
Yeah.
But I look at the audience, they're like, okay, all right. They're like taking notes. Yeah, I was like,
is this going to be on the exam?
yeah. But he goes, and if you really love it, like if you think, fuck, that's really clever, I love that joke, clap, let's try. And they clapped with him and they laughed, and truly, it actually changed the gig. I think if he didn't do that, and after, you know, weeks later, I went and did a different country gig and the host didn't do that, and it was nothing. And after the same thing, they were like, loved the show. I was like, did you cunt? Like, I don't reckon you did. But they were like, no, we loved it. And I was like, it's because we didn't tell you what to do. It's because you don't come out to shows. Brady and I did a show in Coolaman, which is where my family is from. It's just
golf
near
club / Chinese restaurant. Fucking what a combo.
That was also the Coral Golf Club at one point.
Yeah, knew it, absolutely knew it. And we and the same thing. There was a whole table. Our support act. We had a support act a local guy called Zach Robertson, wasn't it? Yeah, lovely guy. But he brought his entire family and extended family, and they had this one huge table. And poor Zach, he got on first, and he had a bit where he danced to a song or he sang a song. Is that right?
Can't remember. few beers that night.
Yeah, you did. But anyway, his whole family just glared at him throughout the whole thing, and I was like, "Oh no!"
He was doing good, but it's just you know
fine.
when you got your brothers in the audience, and your brother just wants you to bomb. Like,
yeah,
go on, mate, go and do your art.
Go and do it. Yeah, but they gave him nothing. But I was like, "Oh, they can't. They haven't worked out that he can see them." But he was fine. Like Zach, I think he's so used to performing in country places where he was like, yeah, it was good, it was whatever. But I was like, oh,
yeah,
so brutal to watch your family give you peanuts when you're like, I'm literally singing and dancing for you in the golf club.
That would destroy me. Yeah, I'm so happy. Like my brother, I told you before we started, he's like a musical theatre performer. So he is a very flamboyant gay man. And then my sister, she's a preschool teacher. So I've never had like real bloody, you should fuck this up energy from any of my family.
It's very supportive.
Yeah.
Pursue your creative endeavours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, you've all become, because I reckon preschool teachers and like they have to be performative as well.
That's true, yeah.
They have to be like, and now we're doing, and all they want to be like all day preschool teachers must be like, fuck you, fuck. But on the inside.
That's why you got fired as a teacher.
That's why the inside. Yeah, I said it out loud.
Good.
I don't teach anymore. Registration has gone.
Yes.
It has ceased.
Now we ask this of every one of our guests. What is the worst gig?
Well, you just told us the Shepparton one.
That's the worst one.
I'd say that's probably the worst one, yeah.
Really?
Oh, no, actually.
I knew you had another one in the bucket.
You knew.
I could feel it. I could sniff around.
Yeah.
I'm a digger.
Yeah, the worst gig I've ever done was it was last year on tour in Cairns.
Okay.
So
detecting a trend. Cairns, Bundaberg. Here we go. Shepparton.
So we book in the theatre to do in Cairns, and we're so excited. And then about a week before the gig, they were like, "Hey, sorry, we've actually double booked someone else in that night," and I don't know who it was, but they were more important, so we got kicked out, and we were like, "So where do we do the show?" And they were like, "Oh, we've got the pub, whatever pub it was called. I can't remember what it was called, because if I did remember, I'd out them right now." And it was just the worst. So it's in this like it's in the main bit, and I was like, "Okay, this will probably be grim."
Oh, is it it's a massive pub?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilligan's.
No, not Gilligan's. No,
I was going to say, don't you ever turn on Gilligan's?
We went to Gilligan's afterwards.
They
It
still
was
got wet
fucking-
t-shirt competitions.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking 90s in there, dude. It's crazy.
It's wild, yeah. So we get to this random pub in Cairns, and then I'm like, okay, there'll be a stage, a microphone, and then we know it's in like the dining function room, but we'll set up theatre style seating, right? But we rock up, and they were just like, "Nah, fucking dinner's on at 7.
Oh, Jesus.
So
and
it's
that's
like-
what time the show started.
So it's like, imagine if the Comics Lounge like lost everything, and it's just like that gig where everybody has to fucking like. It was like the worst version of that. The Comics Lounge do it good because they know how comedy works, but they were just like, "No, we'll get more sales at the bar if people get Palmers and stuff." So I was like, "Fuck, all right, sure." So then this stage, there was no backstage. There was just like a curtain behind the stage, and the behind the curtain was just a bunch of shit. There was like a BMX bike. There was like a heaps. Yeah, here's it. You would have loved it.
I would have loved it, dude. I would have fucking jumped it.
So there's
on the stage.
there's just this junkyard of just shit, and I don't know whose it is or like what it is, but there's all these like different bikes and like people's equipment and stuff. So then we go into like the manager's office to like the green room, and then me and my opener Sam Zito, who's a very funny comedian, we're just like sitting there and we're like, "Oh yep, this might be grim." And then all we hear from upstairs in like another room is just this guy just going,
No.
for like 20 minutes, and we were like, "What the fuck's going on up there?" And we were like, we thought someone was just like on meth and like had gotten into this room. So then our mate Tyler, who works at who tours with us, he goes upstairs and like has a little peek, and it's one of the workers just like sobbing into his. He's just like crying and like saying stuff in Spanish as well.
Oh, no.
And then it was really, really weird. And then so we're like, "All right, got to start the gig."
Can you wrap up this crying in Spanish, mate?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, we're going to get the Google Translate this shit.
Did anyone find out why he was crying?
No, but it's not the last we've heard of this man.
Fuck yes.
So we get in, so the show starts, Sam goes on, Sam bombs, it's not his fault, he comes off, and then I love the chat in between, in the chat that you do in the handshake.
Oh, good luck, cunt.
Yeah.
The amount of just like, especially like me and Kidgel will just open for each other, so the amount of times we've just been like, they are just fuck them. Anyway, good luck, man, you'll have fun.
Yeah, but you have a go.
Yeah.
So then I get up, but I was really nervous about this show because when I thought it was in the theatre, it was like we just found out that I got moved to this shit pub, and then for I don't know how he got my number, but I get a text saying, "Hey mate, it's Will here. I was in Cairns last night doing a show. I'd love to come to your gig tonight." And I was just like, I don't know a Will, and I don't have a Will saved. It was Will Anderson.
Oh.
So somehow he got my phone number, and he was like, "Man, I'd love to come to your show." And I was just like, "Fuck." And we just found out that it was going to be in this dodgy pub. So I was just like, "Fuck, all right, man. Yeah, come along."
Oh my goodness.
You can't go. No.
And then, so we do the gig, right? So, and it's one of those ones where you're like, oh, this is a job. This is like something.
Yes.
And just
It's
like
no longer fun anymore.
people at the back couldn't hear me. The microphone was so shit. There was one row of theatre style seating, and then all the rest were just like tables and just like clanking of cutlery. And there was a 21st in the room next door that hadn't been shut off, and then all of them. Yeah. And then so they were just walking through to get out to the smokers area. It was 21st, my show, smokers area.
Banging the door, banging the door, banging the door, banging the door.
They're walking through your show.
They're walking through, just going, "Fuck's this? What's going on here?"
Oh no!
So,
Vaping.
yeah.
What the fuck is this?
So then, and it's just the worst gig of all time. And all I'm thinking in my head is just like, Will Anderson thinks I'm the worst comedian of all time.
Yeah.
He hates me.
Awful.
Fuck this. Not getting on Question Everything. Fuck this.
Not getting those 20,000 views compared to my 4 million per video.
So I'm doing the gig, and then I'm not aware of this because I'm just trying to push through the gig, and just like I've zoned out. I'm just getting through the jokes, and then I find out after the gig I had about 20 minutes to go. And then this dude just comes storming out to Tyler and to Sam and to the people in the crew, and they were just like, "Hey man, I ride to work, and my bike is behind that stage.
No.
So you're either stopping the show and you're gonna help me get it, or I'm just gonna fucking get my bike."
What?
So Tyler's gone, "Man, I'm sure we can figure out something out if you can just wait 20 minutes. He's like, and it's the crying dude, right?
Oh!
It's the crying dude from before, and he's just like, no, fuck this, man. I'm getting my bike, and you're getting my... And then he threatens to, like, bash the shit out of my tour manager.
What is going
Well,
on
the fucking
with
Suki
him?
Lala's going to start throwing hammers now, is he?
Yeah. So I'm all oblivious to this, and then... So they just like they like usher him out and just like have a chat, and then they're just screaming like, "Fuck you, no, fuck you! I'm getting my bike." Just like had the worst day at work. Blah 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 blah.
Well, now you ruin this cunt's day at work.
Yeah, exactly. So this massive drama, and then I get to the end of the show, nothing happens. I would have loved it if something happened. That would have been a sick clip. Like, it would have been awesome. But then we finished the gig, and even before the gig ended, there was just this one waitress, and she's just doing her job. Like, I'm not going to bash her for it, but she was just like clanking cutlery and just going,
yeah.
and I was just like, "Nah, just push through. Don't talk about it."
Yeah, it's fucking comedy's on. I reckon I'll fire up the fucking dishwasher.
Yeah.
make a loud cocktail.
So then we're doing the meet and greet afterwards, and I'm just...
I would not be hanging around with that dude.
But
So,
you have to, is that part of the ticket?
no, not part of the ticket, but just like if
Something
it's...
you insist on?
Yeah.
we have like a numbers threshold, and like if it's a theater or something, we're just like, sometimes it's a bit too much and it takes like an hour and a half. But like, it was this pub, there was just like, it was like 200 people there. Like, you can, and I was like, most of these people are going to leave. So like, I'll meet 3 people, but just everybody came to the meet and greet. And then I just had to be like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And then Will comes up and he was just like, "Hey man, great show. And then just like headed off, and I was just like, fuck. Because I hate it was a good gig. It was a good gig.
No, it was great. You did really well. I really liked it. Yeah.
I liked when fucking Matt Hoffman got on that BMX during the fucking bit. That was pretty good. Is that planned?
Great show. And did he message you afterwards?
So we're leaving the venue, and the staff are like, "What, you're not going to help us like pack up the chairs and stuff?" And
Pardon?
we're like, "No, sorry, like not doing that." Because they were also like,
Let's do the dishes as well while we're fucking here.
yeah, and they were also just so rude to us as a venue. It was just like I can take most shit, but I was just like, that's so piss poor.
Yeah.
Right? But then like 2 days later, we record our pod in the day, but we were just like, we were on our way home. We were like, all right, before we go to Gilligan's, we're recording the pod.
Yeah.
So we did an hour of just like teeing off on this venue. And then I'm telling this pretty much a elongated story of what I'm telling you guys now. And I'm like, yeah, I just, Will Anderson thinks I'm so shit. As soon as I say that, I get a just ding. And I got this massive paragraph of just like, man, been there so many times. That was not your fault whatsoever. I could tell the people who could hear you were just loving it. And there are so many people who support you and thought that was a great gig. I thought it was fucking brilliant. And then
so nice.
And then like my mate Tyler was just like, they were just like panning over to like Will sitting on his own. And then there is one portion where I can't remember what I say, but then Will just goes,
yeah, fantastic.
and I was like, oh, thank fuck for that, dude.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
there was at least a little bit of a silver
Saving
lining at the
grace.
end of it.
Turns out that text message wasn't from Will. It was from the Spanish guy crying.
It was
He
actually a
big
really good
fan.
show.
Yeah,
It made
yeah.
me cry and get angry. It was
Yeah.
really beautiful. What a roller coaster.
Fuck. Oh, that's awesome, though. At least there's that saving grace at the last bit of it, you know? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Will is he came to our live show in Adelaide, which we will not be releasing. You will never see. If you're at the Adelaide show, well, you're welcome. You're welcome. It was an exclusive. You'll never see it, but the whole show, because we went to some really strange places in that show. Will Anderson, I could just hear his laugh at the back of the room.
Yeah.
Just so loud and supportive. And most comedians, like when I watch comedy, I can appreciate it, but I don't laugh very often
Yeah.
because you just die inside a bit and
Yep.
you just get so used to funny things. But he's such a lovely guy that he's like, no, my laugh, they need it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, he's just supportive.
just
Yep.
so great.
Such
And
a
he
good
laughed
dude.
the whole way through and he was like, great show. No, you cannot release it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
well,
we'll listen to you, Will. Yeah, I think you know.
listen.
I'm going to Will, yeah. But we won't hold you up. Blake, where can people find you? Are you on tour? What's going on?
Mate, you can find me just at Blake Pavey on all socials. A lot of Blake and Friends shows this year. We're kicking off in Adelaide.
Hell yeah.
oh, wait, that's soon, no?
Yeah, March 18th to 22nd at the Drama Llama. Downstairs.
yeah, great room.
Great room. Probably the best show I've ever done in that room.
Really?
I love that
awesome.
room. That's where we had our live show. It's fucking
it's where we had
I
our
love
live
that
show.
room.
Unreal. Yeah,
Yeah.
great room. And then after that, March 26th till April 11th at the Comedy Festival, Blake and Friends again. And then what's after that? Oh, and then I'm going to Vegas to go to WrestleMania. After that, it's going to be fucking
In
sick.
Vegas for what?
WrestleMania.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Okay.
I like the
I was
Vegas part of that. I'll come to
Sydney,
Vegas.
Brisbane? No, okay, Vegas. That's
And
pretty
then
cool.
after that, May 1st till the 4th, Sydney, Blake and Friends, and then May 21st and 22nd or 23rd in Perth.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Is that a comedy festival then?
No, I
no,
think we're
you're just doing it.
I just like
Great.
Perth.
You're not doing Brisbane.
No, well, Brisbane's supposed to be this Thursday for the comedy special.
It's a bit, yeah, someone's turned the fan on up
Cyclone.
there, so
Yeah.
we got no chance.
But
Okay.
no, Brisbane will work out a new date for this comedy special, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Huge things for you, Blake. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been such a treat.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, guys. If you're not already on the Patreon, make sure you jump on board, support the podcast, follow us on all the socials. Until next time, thank you. I've been fired from a lot of places.
You have.
I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets.